Hello guys, welcome to your English class. Today I'm going to explain you Unit 4 from your book that it's called For the Love of Art. Objectives expressing subjects as objects of actions in different tenses. We have the first exercise. It says exercise 4.1. Match instruments to the artistic activity in the columns. We have these activities, artistic activities, and next to we have some nouns according to these activities. For example, we have architecture, literature, music, painting, theater, or sculpture. Now we have the nouns next to: costume, prose, brush, hammer, marble, score, plan, canvas, bow, chisel. Okay, now the idea is you have to connect what would be the right activity with the correct noun. For example, number 6, score, music, music, score. Okay. Literature, prose, literature, prose. Sculptor, marble, sculptor, marble. And painting, canvas, painting, canvas. Okay, you have to complete the rest. Now on exercise 14.2 we have read the text and match the headlines to the paragraph with the right headline on the correct line. We have 3. It says the oldest cathedral in Europe, the iconic novel of Spanish literature, and the most famous painting. Now, what are you gonna do? You have to read them. We have 3 paragraphs, 1, 2, and 3, and we have to write the correct title in each one. And you have some parts of the paragraphs have been removed. Read the text again and fill the gaps with the correct sentences. Write the letters online. Now, on the paragraphs you have some blanks: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You have to complete the letters in order to fill the ideas. These ideas are removed from the text and you have to complete it. Okay, you have A. St. Ambrose Cathedral was built at the beginning of the 5th century. After he had painted for 4 years, he left it unfinished. Many critics came to view the work as a tragedy. The painting had been commissioned by the Joconde family. After the French Revolution, it was popular, and many architects and artists have been participating in construction and sometimes reconstruction of this magnificent building. Okay, now the idea is you have to complete the letters in numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and the titles: the first title, second title, and the third title. Okay, I'm gonna read it. It says masterpiece of the world of art. The title of the painting that is known in English as Mona Lisa comes from the Francesco de Gioconda wife, who was named Liza Gioconda. Mona is a contraction of Madonna, which is similar to Madame or My Lady in English. For their new home and to celebrate the birth of their second son, Andrea, Leonardo began the Mona Lisa in 1503, according to Leonardo's contemporary Giorgio Vasari. The painting was finished in 1503. The cathedral was built over several hundreds of years in different contrasting styles, and quality of the work varies significantly. Milan's layout with a street circling Duomo reveals that Duomo occupies what is considered the most central site of the city, and the basilica was added in 836. The old baptistry has been constructed in 335, and it still can be visited under the Milan Cathedral. It is one of the oldest Christian buildings in Europe. When a fire damaged a cathedral, the basilica in 1075, they were rebuilt as a Duomo. Gian Leggiaso, Ludovico Sforza, and Carol Peggiani are included on the list. The last revolution armade and facet in 2009 and left the cathedral as it looks today. It has been considered as the most important cathedral in the north of Italy. When is the first published Don Quixote as usually interpreted as comic novel? Because it is proposed idea and individuals can be right while society is wrong, not comic at all. In the 19th century, it was seen as social commentary, in which Don Quixote's idealism and novelty are viewed by the world as insane, are considered useless by common reality. By the 20th century, the novel had come to occupy spaces of one of the foundations and the modern literature. Okay, now we have the first part. Now, the main topic, it's passive voice, but in different tenses. We have simple present, simple past, past perfect, present perfect, or modal verbs. For example, we have Don Quixote's idealism and novelty are viewed present. St. Ambrose Cathedral was built, simple past. The painting had been commissioned, past perfect. It has been considered, present perfect, and it still can't be visited, modal verb. Okay. In this unit, we're going to check this passive voice, but in different tenses. Now, in the next part of your book, exercise 4.3, it says the following extracts were taken from the synopsis of the El Quijote. Rewrite them in passive or active voice as necessary. We have Alfonso Quijano, the protagonist of novel, is retired country gentleman around 50 years of age. Okay, now what are you gonna do? We have 5 sentences, and the idea is if your sentence is active voice, you have to rewrite it in passive voice, and if your sentence is in passive voice, you have to rewrite it in active voice. For example, we have he reads books of chivalry in excess. Now, books of chivalry, the object, books of chivalry are read in excess by him. Books of chivalry are read in excess by him. The first one is active voice. You have to complete in passive. My sentence passive is books of chivalry are read in excess by him. Or number 2, his mental faculties were distorted by these books. Now, this is passive voice. You have to write these books, what? It's past. These books distort his mental faculties. These books distort, past, his mental faculties. Okay? Now you have to complete the rest, number 3, 4, 5. And finally, the last exercise 4.4. Read the statements and the answers are write the correct option. You have in the year 1516, Leonardo was invited by the King Francois I to go to work to the Clos Luc near the king's castle in Amboise. So we have when, and you have to complete the question. When was Leonardo invited to work? When was Leonardo invited to work? In 1516. The construction program was strictly regulated under the Fábrica de Dono, which had 300 employees. Now, you have what construction program? What construction program? And you have to complete the question according to its part. Number 3. In the course of their travels, the protagonists meet innkeepers, gaolers, soldiers, priests. These encounters are magnified by Don Quixote's imaginations. We have the question what? the encounters with innkeepers, goddesses, soldiers, and priests. The title of Schiller's poem, Ode to Joy, it was written in 1785 and first published the following year in the poet's own literary journal, Thalia. What? Schiller's poem, Ode to Joy. During the World War II, the Mona Lisa was removed from Louvre Museum and taken safely to Ingress Museum, where the Mona Lisa was removed. Where the Mona Lisa was removed. Between 1500 and 1510, under Ludovico Sforza, and the octagonal cupola was completed and decorated in the interior. When was the cupola completed? When was the octagonal cupola completed? 7. Finally, Don Quixote is persuaded to return to his home village. Who is persuaded? Who is persuaded to his home village? Who is persuaded to his home village? And the main composition work of symphony was done in 1822. When was done the main composition of work? When was done, or when the main composition work was done? In 1822. Okay, you have to complete the rest. And in your workbook, you have to complete just one exercise. It says, choose the best answer to complete the statements. Write the parentheses of a letter of the answer you have chosen. Now you have multiple choice, ABC, ABC. The idea is you have to complete that in order to check what is the correct sentence. For example, you have 1. I, de Leonardo, took the Mona Lisa with him after he removed to France. It is believing, it is believed, it is believed. In this case, it is believed. B. Number 2. Before the new cathedral work, 3 main buildings, plural, were demolished. Was not, because it's singular, and are is present. No, were demolished. Number 3. Don Quixote Part 2 published. A sequel published. Was a sequel published 10 years after the original novel. C. Don Quixote Part 2 was a sequel published 10 years after. Number 4. Beethoven's sketchbooks showed that bits of musical material are written. Now it's present. Now, were written was written. Sketchbooks plural, so we have to write B. Were written. 5. The Pieta was shipped to New York in 1964 and the main attraction at the 1964 New York's World's Fair. Now, became? No. Was become, because it's past. 6. When Leonardo died, the painting by his pupil Sale. Inert? No. Was inert? No. Was inert? Yeah, it's passive voice. C. And Napoleon was crowned. To be crowned. Crown. Was crowned. Napoleon was crowned King of Italy at the dawn. Okay? Now please read the sentences, checked, and don't forget that they are in passive voice. When you finish, don't forget to take your photos from these exercises. And that's all, guys. I hope that you are okay. That's all for me. Thank you so much for your attentions, and bye bye.